Transfer deadline day. Some would argue the best day of the year. I think it's a bit of a circus, but today's a big one for us, not because we're signing anyone. Waiting on a call from the Spanish embassy. Avramides needs to get him registered as an EU player. Just need him to become Spanish. Waiting on the paperwork. It's been there for a few weeks. It's getting tight, but today I got a good feeling. Oh. Hello. Yes, this is Senor Space is speaking. Yeah? Oh. What do you mean the paperwork's not going to be today? There's been an error with a fax machine. What is it with Spanish fax machines? Well, can we register him as a non-EU citizen and then just play him when he's Spanish? I mean, I don't know why I'm asking you the rules, to be honest, Mr. Embassy Mum, but I just hope you know. You don't think I can? I mean, how am I going to ship someone out? It's deadline day. Well, this is my problem to solve, innit, really. This is what I get for assuming that you'd have good fax machines. Yeah, not a problem. Bye. It's a problem. Avramides not getting EU citizenship before the registration deadline. We're in a pickle. How's it going, folks, and welcome back. It's episode number 44 of Part 2 Primera. Today, we are back with the Champions League opening game of the group stage. Now, of course, last season, in finishing second, we managed to qualify for the Champions League, and we go straight into the group stage by virtue of the fact we are a Spanish team. I'm going to tell you now, I think this is one of the most horrific groups I've had in recent Football Manager memory. Today we kick things off with a game against Bayer Leverkusen. Elsewhere in our group, we've got Lazio, who, don't get me wrong, they're not the biggest team in Italy, but they finished third last year. And we've also got a Liverpool team. A Liverpool team who, in this save game, last year won the Premier League title for the second time in the modern Premier League era. They've got quite a good team. Interesting to note, they've still got Virgil van Dijk and Trent. Klopp is still their manager. They've got João Felix up front. This just feels like it's going to be a horrible season. So yeah, it's going to be a tough campaign. We're going to see how we get on. I thought last year was a bit tricky. Truth be told, now I've looked at this, I'd be quite happy if we finished third in this group and wound up in the Europa League. It may also allow us to go on a little bit more of a run, I suppose, than just getting knocked out straight away in the knockouts like last year. Now, of course, since you were last here, a whole lot has happened. But before we talk about that, let's talk about this sale. Thiago Araújo is leaving the club. It wasn't really a planned sale by any means, but of course, he joined us last year for 2.4 million. Last season, he made 11 appearances for us this year. Of course, this year, we've picked up Zivkovic as a backup left-back, and our previous starter in Marsa is not going anywhere. So as a result, I kind of had this spare left-back. It was on my mind that I might want to sell him. And then suddenly, from out of nowhere, Wolfsburg came along and said, hey, 9.5 million? Yeah, 9.5 million sounds good to me. So he's on his way out. He will be leaving us in January. Not a small sum of money. A little bit bizarre that they came in straight after the transfer window closed. But nevertheless, we're selling on a player who we bought in for 2.4 million as a squad player on for almost 4 times the profit. I think that stonks. I really hope I've done that meme right. Stonks? I think that's an appropriate use of stonks. Kids, fellow kids, let me know in the comments. I don't know memes. Help me. Now, on the pitch since you were last here, things have actually gone really, really well. We, of course, started the season with a slightly unconvincing win against Granada. And whilst none of these wins have been by massive, emphatic margins, we've just steadily gone about our business and looked relatively good doing so. Now, the first game since you were last here was against Addons, and in this game, it was great to see Avramides playing that complete forward role, getting into way more advanced areas of the pitch than he did last year and getting on the score sheet. Martinez assisted one, and well, not long later, he assisted another. Free ball to Mexica, clean throw on goal, tidy little finish. I would have loved to have kept the clean sheet, but unfortunately, Addons, they wanted to make me squirm for the last 10 minutes as they grabbed a late goal through Tony Villa. To be fair, what a finish that was on the volley. That said, that is the only goal we've conceded inside our opening 4 league games, so that's a sign to be positive about. And while the other games that we've kept clean sheets in was, firstly, this game against Sociedad, where we were really, really convincing. As you can see, it rotated things a little bit, gave Vega his first appearance for the club. I'll be honest, he didn't wow me, but we'll give him more opportunities. In terms of what did wow me, defensively, top draw performance. You can see here, of course, lots of new pieces coming into the defence this year. That was definitely a concern of mine. I feel like when you swap out kind of 3 members of your back 4 and goalkeeper, you have reasons for concern. Of course, we've got Galarreta here, who scored on his debut last episode. He's looked very good so far. He's on a 7.22 average rating, the 20-year-old. Elsewhere in the team at left-back, Zivkovic got a 7.6 in this game. He's looked even better, dare I say. Got a player of the match performance as well, but 7.38 average rating for him. And of course, in goal, a little bit of a magnifying glass being put on Ramadani. Coming in very late in the transfer window, wasn't really a planned deal, but a player who I wound up signing when I just felt like we had to get him in. Right now, he's on above a 7.0 rating. It is very early days, 4 games into the season, where we've not really been tested. But if you could keep this kind of level of performance up, it's going to look like a bit of a steal, isn't it, at £10 million. In our most recent game, not the most convincing of performances, but we did end up winning it 2-0. In this game, Zivkovic, you can see, whipping it back post for Martinez, who is not a player I expect to score headers, but the winger, he was in the right place at the right time there, and Zivkovic's ball was top draw. And then you can see down the other wing back getting involved in the play. Really nice drag back there by Mark. With the change in system that we've gone with, there is a little bit more of an expectation for our wing backs to do more with the ball going forward. That is something that they definitely did in that game there. And, well, all in all, I'm very, very happy with where we're going with this formation. Worth noting, I have changed one role in the team, and that is that the advanced playmaker is now a Mazzala on attack. I'm still not overly happy with it. I feel like Pablo Torre and his good performances were a big kind of standout aspect of our team over the last few years. So far this year, he's not really done that. He's on a 6.63 average rating. Now, that might be down to the fact that he is taking slightly fewer set pieces than he has in the past. But even from open play, been a little quieter in this team. I think that is to be expected. I think, you know, with our old shape, the advanced playmaker is such a central core to the team. You know, all the players around them are moving around. With this formation, there's a little bit less of that, but it is certainly making more of the team shine on the whole. Of course, one of the big reasons to make this tactical change was to get more out of Avramides. Unfortunately, he did pick up a little bit of a knock, so he's not been able to play more than half the games for us so far. But, I mean, off a very small sample size, he is looking better than last year. He will probably play in this game today, actually, looking at it, because he is getting back to full fitness. That is something that we like to see. 75 minutes, you're playing today, Alessio. So looking at today's team for the game against Bayer Leverkusen, we are at home for this game, so I'm hoping we're going to get off to a good start. Owusu is going to come back into the team in the centre defensive mid position. He and Kapanu, I think, are going to be rotating around this year. There's going to be, you know, opportunities for both of them to play. I've currently split the minutes 50-50, which I'm going to keep trying to do. The fact that I've promised them both that they're important players, and yet they play the same position, does make things a little bit tricky for us. But you can see here, albeit over a very small sample size, so far Owusu, definitely the better player on the pitch. 7.2 rating for him. Kapanu is really, really good at winning the ball. I'm still a little bit dubious of his ability once he has the ball at his feet. Owusu, by comparison, is a lot more complete as a defensive midfielder, much better with the ball at his feet, and as a result, he looks very composed on the ball, building the ball from deep. Elsewhere, the defence remains unchanged. Of course, we have got the likes of Marsa, who I could bring into the team if I was a little bit underwhelmed by how, say, Zivkovic was gelling into the team. And I suppose there's one other thing that we should mention really here, and that is the fact that Avramides, he's still waiting on his paperwork. Siapina, new kid on the block, signed this year. I've had to loan him out because the foreign player rules, and Avramides was useless. So that's a thing. I'm sorry to Siapina. I didn't want to loan him out. He hates the fact I've loaned him out. But because I can only register 3 non-EU players, and because Avramides and his kind of paperwork is just taking bloody forever, and the registration deadline came, I had to make some tricky decisions on deadline day. To be honest, I'm just kind of glad we were able to loan out Siapina this year, because if I hadn't been able to loan him out, he'd be more angry with me than he already is. But anyway, this is the 11 that we're going to go with. Avramides, Mojica and Martinez, our strike force today. I've been really impressed by Martinez so far. I think whenever you have a player come through your academy, there's this weird willingness you have as manager for them to do well. I don't know about anyone else, but when I'm playing Football Manager, if a player's come through my intake, if I've kind of raised them myself with my own bare hands, I'm much more willing to give them more opportunities and more benefit of the doubt and really give them as many opportunities as possible. But no, looking at this team, it's a very good team. Leverkusen, though, they're pretty good themselves. They've got Bodu out on the right. Who's their regen striker? I mean, he's good, isn't he? He's 19. Okay, now I'm curious who their key player is. Okay, so their key player is Bodu. So he's quick, isn't he? I thought they might be a little bit better than they are, but I mean, they are still a good. Look, they finished third in the Bundesliga. You're not a bad team if you finish third in the Bundesliga. And I know someone's going to say, Jack, you finished second in La Liga. We overperform massively. We have been punching above our weight for so long. Obviously, with a young team, I'm hoping that we're going to grow into our weight class. That's kind of how I want things to happen here. And well, Zivkovic, obviously, big task for him at left back with no one directly in front of him in this system. I'm very keen to keep a close eye on, I suppose, how he performs going forward. It's a really, really demanding shape, this of the left back. Of course, he was a big investment in the summer, kind of for that reason. And well, Mojica threaded through by Avramides, and that is a tidy finish inside the first 90 seconds of this game. I can't claim that Zivkovic had some mad role in this goal, but you can see him. Mark wins the header. Martinez takes it down well. He shows a bit of strength, a little bit of intent to get down the middle, but well, a really tidy first-time pass by Avramides. And the finish itself, first time as well by Mojica. I mean, how much did we spend on Mojica? Because it's got to be up there with one of my best bargain buys ever. How much was it? 165k. He's got 4 goals in 4 this year. He's just scored in a Champions League. He's not bad, is he? For a second, I thought Bodie was going to score a header, which would be concerning because he's not a particularly good player in the air. And it's actually one thing that I think we're quite good at as a team, is our aerial ability to deal with set pieces and such. So that's a concerning sign. Also, they've got Canner at centre-back. Canner, I've never seen Canner play in real life. Every Football Manager save he is unreal. Not sure if I'd play him at centre-back. Who am I to judge, though? 10 minutes till half-time here. It's been a very, very nervy game. Really, since we scored, there's not been a whole lot of opportunities, just that one header from a corner. Statistically, Leverkusen have really grown into this game, although they've given the ball in an atrocious area there. We could catch them out. Avramides tackled, but falls to Pablo, who surely got to finish it. And the man in on loan from a German club scores against a German club. It's his first goal contribution of the season, which feels odd to say about Pablo, given just how ever-present he's been in the team over the years. Bit of fortune about the way the ball fell to him after Canner put in a tackle. Bit of a heart-in-mouth moment. For some reason, I just didn't expect him to finish that. But he did find the bottom corner. That could be a big goal before half-time. We've scored 2 goals from 2 shots on target. I want to shut up shop until half-time, but we might not have that option as Jonathan Tah heads just over the crossbar. 2 corners that they've whipped towards that back post. Do I need to be more wary of it? Perhaps. 2 minutes left and it's added time. Okafor bringing it forward strikes it. I mean, I will happily see shots like that all day, every day on our goal. That is not a good effort. And it means at the break, despite a flurry of chances for them, we go in ahead. So going into the second half, obviously we've got the benefit of the cushion. Still a little bit concerned about the number of opportunities they're having. Whilst we're not seeing a load of highlights, they are having shots. They are having more of the ball. But, I mean, truth be told, we've looked okay so far, to the point where I don't really want to change anything radically. Looking at it, Owusu's on a booking, so we'll bring in Kapanu. Hopefully he's not going to get sent off today. Blanco's not at the best game at box-to-box midfielders, so you know what? We'll bring in Gabri Veiga. I think Gabri Veiga's a really interesting player. I think he's criminally underrated. As far as box-to-box midfielders go, I mean, he's got 2 attributes below 10, which, you know, for a role which requires so much of a player, you know, feels pretty good. Obviously, strength is the one that he's lacking alongside tackling. But with our system, with our shape, because you've got a man in behind at defensive mid, I feel like I'm less concerned about the defensive ability of our box-to-box midfielders, which might seem odd because so many of our midfielders are good defensively. But Veiga offers us just something a little bit different. I mean, Ramadani has saved that and then lumped it clear. What was that highlight? I'm very confused. I mean, I appreciate the quick distribution, but I don't know what I just watched. I mean, if they want something from this game, it's got to start happening now, and it just isn't happening now, is it? This game is going to fizzle out into nothingness. I feel like we rode our luck a little bit there. In the second half, I think we were probably the better team. They didn't really create a whole lot at a point where they needed to commit more men forward. I feel like one aspect of our team is the strength of our young defence. Obviously, we've kept another clean sheet there, which is great to see. Siapina, how did he get on? He played 79 minutes in the Champions League. I mean, that's quite good, isn't it? As much as I'm a bit gutted about the fact we've had to loan him out because of the registration rules. He's injured. When did he get injured? What's the injury? Let's not talk about it. Just don't talk. He's out for a month. Let's not talk about it. In some other news, if you were wondering how Corridor's doing for Real Madrid, great news. He's got 2 assists in 2 games for them in La Liga. I mean, on the one hand, we're helping a title rival. On the other, one of our 19-year-old prospects who I can't fit in the team, not because I don't want to fit him in the team, but because of registration rules. He's getting some regular minutes. He's playing right back, which is even better because that's a position that I might end up playing him in. I mean, at least it's going better than the Siapina loan, I suppose. But anyway, with today's result, as you can see here, we go top of the league to start things in the Champions League. Lazio and Liverpool drew in their opening game. Our next game is against Lazio, but we're not going to come back for that. We're going to come back for a trip to Anfield. That is going to be going on the 22nd of October, so in about a month's time. It's going to be a really big game, I think, in the context of our European campaign, especially if we could beat Lazio. It's the kind of game against Liverpool that we go into knowing that a win may well assure us a spot in the knockout stages. But anyway, that is going to wrap up today's episode from me. I hope you enjoyed it as always. If you did, do drop a like on the video. What do you make of the squad so far? I don't feel like I've rotated things enough. Something I need to do a little more of. Still looking at ways we can tweak the system, so if you spotted anything in that one game that we had, not the biggest sample size, but maybe you saw something glaringly obvious that we could be doing for the better, leave it down in the comments. And other than that, thank you so much for watching as always. I appreciate the support massively, gang. Apologies for the lack of a video yesterday. Various things came up which just made it not possible, which is why we're uploading today on Sunday. And well, until Monday, which is tomorrow, have a lovely weekend. You've not got long left of it. Make the most of it. Work tomorrow. See you then. I'm sorry, this is just a really sad ending, isn't it? Well, just remind everyone, Jack, that it's the last day of the weekend, why don't you?